Guys, I'm starting to realize that degenerate women with YouTube channels that just hate on masculinity all the time are starting to become somewhat of a interesting social phenomenon. They showcase the open and blatant degeneracy and disregard for competence, merit, the open attempted mockery of reality, and the reasons for it are very interesting. The first reason you're seeing this pathogen of female degeneracy is because the apparatuses of reality that are objective and therefore hold women accountable are under attack because the female psyche isn't equipped to make sense of the world without a masculine frame. I just discovered this channel, and I think it's interesting because it demonstrates this type of patheticness. So this is a damaged woman. You can obviously see she's dyeing her hair, and I watched one of her videos. It was this one where I recorded a reaction to it. But what she does, as I'm about to show you, is essentially a never-ending confession as to how broken and desperate her mind is. It's so interesting to see, because you can tell that she's single, you can tell that she's destroyed.
Bad person who does bad things and who wants to stop doing bad things. What if there was a course that helped you level up in life and become the alpha you were always meant to be? Well, fear...
So at the beginning, you see the mockery of the personality that would normally contain her psychopathology. It's very interesting. It's a sickness that we're seeing. The sickness of radical feminism and how it is destroying the psyche of women in real time.
Low cost of $18,000 and your physical and mental well-being, there is.
Start listening to my commands. The shit's gonna get bad.
It's only during the hardest times that men get to see what they're really made.
Do you have any doubt that I'll make
this
you
is so
here?
interesting. A degenerate woman with dyed hair feels compelled to attempt to mock the masculine frame, increasing incompetence. The reason for that is because as men become more impressive, objectively speaking, there's nothing the degenerate female psyche can do to overcome it. That's why they become enraged. That's why they demonize masculinity. It's so interesting. This is like a case study.
Hours and hours and hours.
Competition, hardship. This is the type of thing that they do in military training to build men into warriors, to build men into really tough guys.
This is Project Modern Day Night, and you may have heard about them before. Thank you for letting me copy your idea.
If you are willing to flip,
Want to level up, become the 2.0 version of themselves, or flip the switch, as they like to say a lot.
change can take
The degenerate female psyche is enraged by masculine excellence. This is
Place in an-
exactly what I talk about on Twitter.
instant. If you are willing to flip the switch, flip the switch, flip the switch, flip the switch.
It is just a metaphor, though. They aren't a bunch of highly motivated electricians.
Hey guys, I think I'm gonna flip the switch.
And she's unattractive, probably fatherless as well.
Brian, stop. Enough, Brian. Brian, stop.
I can't stop.
They list here are valid reasons to want to become a better person. Having places where men can be vulnerable and open about their mental health is important.
Absolutely pathetic. Again, you see the inversion of masculinity. That's not what masculine healing is. That's what feminine healing is. That's what women do to heal. What men do to heal is go through hardship and become better, because we have to be forged in reality. In order for men to level up, we have to face reality. The degenerate female doesn't want you to realize that. And so it is not just through ignorance that they purport the opposite of the truth. It is also through design. They are threatened by the possibility of you becoming outside of the control of their broken ideology, which is, by the way, the reason why you see them doing nothing but demonize all the men that have made it outside of the control of their ideology by becoming masculine and unsusceptible to their derangement.
This just isn't one of those places.
It's very interesting that there are women alive that were like born and raised, have managed to go through their entire life that don't understand what a masculine environment is for. It's almost unbelievable, because any normal person, I'd say with an IQ above 85, even if they had never seen an environment like that before, they'd be able to surmise what some of the utility is. And the fact that that isn't happening means that it is a deliberate attempt to mock, pervert, and feminize the things which are masculine into the things that are feminine, which of course is in keeping with the agenda to feminize the world, to demonize masculinity and make the world in the image of broken, degenerate women with dyed hair suffering from pathology.
This boot camp helps men reach their full potential by going through an intense...
there was an attempt at mockery. Basically, they want to insist that men and women are the same psychologically and physically, which is very ironic considering that what she's doing demonstrates the opposite of that in real time. But there's an insistence that men must be like women in order to be good. That is the demonization of masculinity. That is the abdication of personal responsibility and individual identity, such that accountability becomes oppression, which is the reason why coherence, logic, order also, which are all components of the masculine frame, must be demonized.
Hence 75 hours of physical challenges like crawling through mud, lifting heavy things.
And in her tone, you can see that there's the attempt to demonize the masculine struggle in the with the noted goal of saying men should be like women, because women don't become better when they go through things like this. They become more damaged. Again, there's irony in the fact that she is damaged, and that's the reason why she's attempting to pervert and demonize masculinity. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Not sleeping and being verbally berated by instructors.
Has she never heard of SEAL training? I guess a degenerate woman like this may not even be aware of what SEALs are or what like Marines are. She may be the type of person that says Elon Musk is not impressive or Elon Musk is poor. There's no way to tell. The people on this side of the internet that suffer with woke mind virus lobotomies will say almost anything if it's counter to reality.
Clearly their main
Wait, that was very interesting. That was super interesting.
Being verbally berated by instructors.
Look at that. Okay. So as a man is being forged in masculine fire, she's dancing degenerately with hair dyed. It's so archetypal. Attempting to mock masculinity. It's almost as if she's hearing. It's like an exorcism. It's like she's hearing the reminders of the objective world, and she can't cope with it. This is so incredibly interesting. Wow, she's. I almost felt bad for her there in that moment. You can tell that she's damaged. You can tell that she's had a difficult, unfortunate upbringing.
Clearly, their main priority is to harbor an environment that boosts men's confidence.
What's your name again? God bless you. Look, you sneezed.
To have a sense of belonging.
Are your eyes crossed? What the f is the matter with you? Are you looking at me right now?
No, yes, sir.
But are your eyes crossed?
No, sir.
You're looking at me right now.
Yes, sir.
To
The
feel
degenerate
like
female psyche can't grasp reality. So interesting.
part of a brotherhood.
Don't look at me with your 1,000-yard stare. It ain't gonna f***ing work. This is why f***ing motherfuckers like you go through divorces and your f***ing wives leave you.
It's so funny that these women don't have brotherhood or tightly knit friendships the way men do, and then criticize the process that builds men into that inseparable friendship of brotherhood that allows them to conquer the world. Again, she probably doesn't know what SEALs are or what Marines are or any type of like military high functioning unit, but they're all like this. But she probably thinks that a bunch of pixie-haired transgenders went and killed bin Laden or something. Who knows?
You gotta be the dumbest f***ers I've ever met.
So if you want to see a man in his late 40s get pissed about being looked at,
Don't look at me.
then this is the perfect investment for you.
You can see there in her eyes she's damaged. You can see that she's upset. Does she just continue to invert reality for the rest of the video? I might have to skip around.
Just look at me. In another room, how to become financially free. And by financially free, they mean that you are financially free to give them a shit ton of money. Sometimes it's hard to tell what is a challenge and what is the instructors going on a big power trip. They shout no matter where they are, so I think it's the only way
Yeah,
they
she's
can...
never heard of the military before, I think. I wonder if she's American or if this is... She doesn't sound British. The most woke, degenerate countries are like Scandinavia, America, and Canada. So maybe she's in Canada.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? It's not that hot out. Block it out and remember why you came.
Dude, if guys this old are complaining about the heat, that's something else.
Keep up with me or things are gonna get bad real quick. Do you understand? I'm not even breaking a sweat yet.
That is so weird. I can't imagine why you're not tired yet. What do you guys mean you're out of breath? I feel great. And I have a rock lodged in my back and I can't stop bleeding. Quit!
So maybe her brain is way too emotional to even comprehend what's happening around her. But he had hiked up to that location along with all of them. But her brain is probably too emotionally distraught or disheveled. This is what happens when they have no model for order or coherence in their psyche. You get total chaos. So what we're seeing right now, I mean, what even is this, bro? Look at this. What even is this? What is she doing? We're looking inside the psyche of a damaged human.
And I have a rock lodged in my back and I can't stop bleeding. Quit whining. The only whine I want to hear is more rosé hitting these ice cubes.
Are those anti... Did she get a picture of anti-tank, like logs arranged in an anti-tank fashion? There's no tanks, no hoverboards, Photoshop boots, really odd. There is a fascination with oversized boots. It's just, again, we're sitting inside their psyche.
Because room temp makes my stomach hurt. The founder of
That
the
was interesting. Room temperature, okay.
Modern Day Night Project, Bedros Keuilian, is a serial entrepreneur, according to the About the Author section of his book Man Up, which I'm pretty sure is usually written by the author themselves, which makes it even funnier that it goes on to say, Bedros is known as a hidden genius that entrepreneurs and business experts turn to when they want to scale, boost sales, and increase profits. Yeah, some people say he's like a frickin' genius. He's like...
Right. The need to disparage. Since she attempted to disparage the men that partake in this character building exercise, it's not surprising that in her female, she finds it necessary to demonize the instructors as well. It's really weird. I mean, you wouldn't just like make a video about, let's say, like martial arts instructors, or I don't know, maybe she does. I've only seen 1 or 2 of her videos. Maybe she does. Maybe she just, looks at videos of martial arts instructors and just gets triggered when she looks at them, being competent with black belts and stuff. That's the type of... I wouldn't be surprised.
The expert for the experts. He is the first person that people come to, not the second.
I think degenerate women find a reprieve watching her. It's almost like they walk around, they're constantly reminded by reality in the world around them that they're wrong in all of their axiomatic ideological presuppositions. They think that men and women are physically the same, and they constantly see that men are taller than them and stronger than them. They think that men and women are psychologically the same, but they're constantly suffering neurotic anxiety, and men just are obviously not. They're constantly being told that their lives are harder than men, but then see, men working out in the roads in the hot sun during the day to build things. So they're constantly reminded that they're wrong, and so they need a reprieve from reality. And I think that's what this is. It's a reprieve from reality, but not like a reprieve from reality that normal people enjoy, let's say watching a show or playing a board game or something like that. But what a degenerate woman does is they engage in the inversion of truth. Not just lying, the inversion of it.
Not the third, the first.
Why are you talking in third person?
No, I said first person. Some of their reasoning for why you should flip the switch or attend the boot camp is kind of messed up. Throughout their website is constantly referring to them and how they don't want you to be a real man. Look, the opposition is trying to keep men weak, anxious, depressed.
Here it is. This might be why she felt herself compelled, drawn to this. Unable to resist the demonization.
Docile and dependent. That's how they want the average man to be. Who is the opposition? Who is they?
Dude, it's so ironic, right? The irony is reaching insane peaks right now.
They hear
all the people watching this. All 3.1 million people. And then she's asking they, and she's literally saying, oh, like the people watching this, it's the inversion of reality. It's the mockery of reality. This is what the degenerate female psyche does when it doesn't come in contact with reality for a long time, is it just continues to self-destruct until they dye their hair blue and say Osama bin Laden's a good guy. That's what happens. She's literally like, who's trying to keep you docile and weak and low testosterone? While she demonizes masculinity and male performance in front of millions of people.
Is they in the room with us right now? Basically, the entire website sounds like it's giving us a vague prophecy from a fantasy book. You must take this ring and you must hide it in a safe place.
She definitely has a hard time watching movies or just engaging with reality at all. I wonder what she does for a living besides this, if anything. I wouldn't be surprised if she basically has no contact with the world, because I can only imagine that it would be infuriating to exist. As a woman as degenerate as this, who clearly is enraged by all aspects of truth, existing must be a challenge. I mean, you go on TikTok and you see masculine men next to Lambos and you're like, oh my God, no, the Lambo must be cheap because they can't be impressive, or oh my God, that guy's in shape. He must have painted those muscles onto himself. I mean, it's really tough. It must be tough. I sometimes think about what the end solution is to aid civilization, to protect civilization from, from its most degenerate elements. And the answer is a self-correcting one, which is these people aren't going to reproduce. But as they don't reproduce, it's going to be very interesting, because they're going to try to corrupt and pervert endlessly all the people that do, and the offspring of the people that do reproduce. The degenerate female feminist isn't interested in having children. No, that would be giving into the patriarchy, so she's not going to have kids. But as she's held accountable and becomes unattractive when she's 45, 50, is alone with cats, and is now really reminded of reality's objective parameters, her resentment is only going to skyrocket. which means she's going to be attempting to pervert reality at all-time highs. Can you imagine what this girl's going to be like psychologically in 20 years if she already has this much of a resentment for reality? By the time she's 55, she could be a whole new type of human that the planet has never seen, so corrosed with resentment and anger for reality that it could be a whole new type of person.
Do I have to do that? Because they will try to take it from you. Who will? Those who oppose us. Who opposes us? The opposition.
Like the millions of people that are watching you demonize masculinity as we speak.
After he was having some mental health issues and started to go to therapy, which is great. That is a huge accomplishment and something to be very proud of. But then he started the program so that...
Again, the textbook inversion of reality, praising the corrosion of the masculine spirit, and exactly in keeping with the agenda to feminize the world.
Would reach out to me and say, hey, Bedros, you should really...
This is getting dark now. So this guy went through hell and back and said, I'm going to help other men overcome their struggles because I went through it, and she's going to demonize that. This is next level pathology, guys. Pay attention. This is very interesting psychologically. Like, analyze this.
Some kind of a challenge and experience.
Think about what she must be going through
for us to go through where we could experience that growth. And I was like, man, I don't know how to put you through an experience of suffering.
Which completely skips the therapy step of his journey.
To be a better human, then you are going to have to...
It isn't just ignorance. I want you to understand this isn't just ignorance. This is malevolence. They want to destroy masculinity. They want to make the very spirit of your being a crime and toxic. That's why she couldn't help but be transfixed by this video. She saw these masculine men becoming impressive, and she couldn't help herself. It enraged her. Definitely fatherless.
Life actually has plenty of suffering to go around. I don't know if we need to be making more of it. The other day, this guy punched me in the face.
Degenerate women have always existed, but they've been kept in line by society for a long time. This is like the type of woman that is single, living by herself, and doesn't understand why wars have ever been fought. She's like, I don't get why we ever fought wars. It's just like pointless violence. And you're like, what do you mean? Why have we fought wars? So that you and your bloodline and your entire family tree weren't enslaved and slaughtered. And she's like, I don't know. Female degeneracy is an interesting drug.
Oh my God. Yeah, but then the doctor
quit.
All of the instructors are ex-military or ex-cops. Guess how many?
Oh, there it is. Dude, exactly as I called it. And she's enraged by that.
Many of them are
Wait, but she knows what the military isn't because she just said the word military. So presumably she's aware that the military exists. So she probably demonizes the entire military. She probably thinks that there's no need for masculine military at all. And that it's just some sort of, just some sort of unhealthy manifestation. Or at least that's what her ideological sickness commands of her.
Therapists.
I'm gonna take off all your f***ing clothes and I'm gonna drag you up and down this f***ing thing.
Go on, guess.
Shut the f*** up and be a team player and go f***ing join your team. You say another f***ing word, you're gone.
Guess.
There's no way the whole front of your shirt is not covered in mud by now. If it is, you're just being a little mean.
Guess.
60% you will not be here on Friday.
Based on the clips I've seen, if you were to cry in front of any of these instructors, they would, without hesitation, call you a giant pussy.
Yeah, you wouldn't fit in. Now, a lot of people would pay good money to see you interact with these real humans in real life, but I don't think you'd make it within a mile radius of them. Your dyed unnatural hair would just start shaking like some sort of Spider-Man tingles, and you'd get the feeling that accountability is near, and you just disintegrate.
Which just seems like they're trying to solve these issues with the same stuff that caused them in the first place. You see, the reason...
That's evil. That there is the evil. That is so, so evil. Blaming the cure for causing the disease. Saying that your spirit of existence as a man is a disease. That the hypothetical cure and perversion of that spirit, which is the adoption of the feminine personality, is the cure. And as that causes depression, as we see depression rates skyrocketing compared to how they were in the 1950s and earlier, when men were forced to be men and when their testosterone levels were measurably higher, as men continually suffer, they're told that their true spirit of being is the reason why they're suffering. That's evil. So when you look at damaged women manifesting psychopathology like this, you should not just see incompetence. You should not just merely see incompetence. You need to see the malevolence that's there too. Because what drives their operation is resentment for all things coherent, all things ordered, all things harmonious, all things true. And a synonym for that is all things good. a resentment for reality itself. That's the spirit of Cain right there. So what we're seeing is the spirit of Cain manifested in the degenerately feminine personality.
Rite of passage for your son as he becomes a man. The rite of passage is killing your father. You have to get rid of him. This town ain't big enough for the two of you. It's your
Whoa, Freud would have a field day right now. Listen, I might end the video here. Listen to this.
man. The rite of passage is killing your father. You have to get rid of him. This town ain't big enough for the two of you. It's you or him. There can only be one. Why are you crying?
So she's fatherless. She's obviously fatherless. She's advocating you kill your father. Very interesting.
Stop crying, you pussy. I forgot to mention that both of these programs require liability insurance. I have no idea why. It's a mystery, honestly. Seems kind of unnecessary, really.
Just water, Kowalski. Stop being a little girl.
I don't want to show much of the Squire program clips because I find them hard to watch, and I don't know if the kids even agreed to being filmed, but
Wow, an interesting admission. She finds young men being forged in the masculine spirit hard to watch. I'm surprised she said that out loud.
they're doing essentially everything they do with the adults. They're just doing them with their dad. They continue to yell at and verbally berate the children.
Yeah, so there was the spreading of female psychopathology in the past. The obsession with satanic practices in daycare was one of those such events where there was an entire frenzy across the United States of women worried that satanic practices and rituals were being conducted with their kids. But that was before the internet. This kind of female psychopathology that attempts to degrade masculinity in all its qualities can be spread to young, susceptible women who might end up dyeing their hair and might not. Depends if they have a strong father in the house. But this isn't harmless entertainment, and people need to realize that this isn't harmless entertainment. At the minimum, you can definitely analyze it for immense psychological depth, but you should also understand what's at stake. I'm really glad I found this video, guys. As always, truth always wins. Subscribe to the channel.